Another question, if I may, and of course I'm throwing it open to either Jay or Margaret, whoever wants to tackle this. It's no secret that most businesses, probably all businesses, at one point started with an entrepreneur with a vision and kind of flew on the seat of his pants. Whether he knew what he was doing, he didn't know what he was doing, he had a lot of passion, and he just moved forward. But at the same time, the financial side may have been challenging to him, and he didn't really keep the books right. Not that he was not that he was doing anything wrong, but just he didn't understand even, had to handle all that. But then the business started to grow. Are you faced with that? What's your advice for a company to then say, okay, it's time, you've been a kid, you became a teenager, now you're an adult. You're an adult business. You got to do it correctly. What advice would you give to a business that reached that point that they've matured and now they got to do it professionally?
I would say, if you're thinking of an idea, start keeping your records early.
That's a great piece of advice. That means don't just charge in as an entrepreneur and ignore the financial side. Handle it professionally from the get-go.
Because catching up is sometimes the difficult thing. It's not impossible. I would say we frequently get many clients in that situation where all of a sudden they're wanting to grow. They want to add a second store, or they want to expand, or they want to franchise, or they've been operating even for 30 years and they had a great passion, but they can't take it to the next level unless investment bankers or other investors come involved, and all of a sudden they have nothing to provide them.
Wow.
So the biggest problem I've seen in some cases where they have a great idea, they've been doing great guns, and they've gathered the interest, whether it's through just news or publicity, that people know about them and they want them to go to the next level. And they say, show us your financial statements. And
what?
Some of those bankers, guess what? They're expecting to see them at the end of the day, not in the future. They expect that if you're ready, I want to see them now. Wow. So sometimes that's where, and investment bankers have called us many times to say, I like this business. I want to think about funding them or acquiring them or working with them, but can you go check them out to see if they're ready to be funded, to be invested in? So that's where, but we catch them up.
So that's going to be my question. Unless, Margaret, you want to jump in?
I just wanted to add that, and it's really important because you do need that financial reporting, as Jay said, when you want to make those steps and you want to build out your business. But keeping good records is actually helpful for the now too, because a lot of the times businesses they'll focus on the revenue, how to get more business, which is obviously important. But maintaining your records, you see how your cost, how efficient your business is. So it's just good on all fronts to really start right from the beginning, as just Jay was saying.
So now I guess the obvious question that the audience would ask is there a way for a business that has run the wrong way for many years, and suddenly they realize, oops, okay, I didn't do it right. I should have done it the other way. I get it, but here is where I am. What do I do now?
So that's where a lot of times we get the phone call.
Got you.
and we look and say, okay, here it is. And we have the understanding of what auditors and what bankers we're going to need. So we're going to go down that list and we're going to work with them. And they don't have to really know anything. Part of it is helping us gather that information, letting us put it in a format, create those financial reports, get it ready, whether they have to be audited or whether there's just other critical information that needs to go out. We had a client a few years ago, and it took some time. Some clients take a little bit of time to get caught up, but they hadn't filed their tax returns in 10 years.
Ouch.
They hadn't had financial statements. They had multiple companies all wrapped together. And it took us a while and auditors to sort that out, but we sorted it out, and they actually finally sold their business.
That's amazing.
And we actually received an award for creating that.
I would imagine
business,
they didn't file for 10 years, and you got them to sell.
So there's a lot of different aspects.
Amazing.
One is financial reporting, one is tax, and there's an expectation. And it's amazing how companies can get very, very large and yet fail to keep their records current. And so but they can catch up. We go through that process, and then help them maintain it, or show them and give them the tools so that they can maintain it from that point forward.
Again, to find out more information about this great company, CFO Squad, that's their website, cfosquad.com, cfosquad.com. The next question that also been dreaming of asking someone of your ilk, how could someone assess the true value of their business? And I know you probably need more than 45 minutes for this one, but what would be a simpler way of giving guidance on that? Evaluating a business.
Well, there is a whole industry
Okay.
that values a business.
Okay.
All right. There's sort of a basic level which we can discuss here, but then in a more complex world, one looks and brings in technical specialists that actually look at the calculations, and there's actually a very, very I want to say complex, but a very difficult process to go through. But on a simple level, I start with cash. How much money is the business making? A lot of people say cash is king.
Well, and net or gross?
Both.
Both.
But it's industry by industry. So each industry has its own rules of valuation. Some it's like, what is your customer base? How many customers? Because other businesses know what to do if they acquired your business and took over your customers within their own business. But for others, it's about cash. So therefore, how much cash is being generated, and long term, and not only cash today, but how are you expected to grow? What is your cash flow in the future? How is your industry growing? Is it a growing industry, expanding, or is it evolving and potentially at risk or declining? So all of those factors come together to determine the value.
Yeah, Margaret, anything to add on that? It's really a fascinating subject, because anyone that has put in years into a business knows, blood, sweat, and tears, the whole thing, and they're, and they would love to have an idea of the value of, like, hey, if I was thinking of selling, what could it command?
Yes, I mean, and like Jay said, cash really, and how much revenue you're generating, how important are your assets in the business, those all play important roles. And going back to, in your business, processes that you can help with that valuation is obviously maintaining records, but keeping budgets and seeing how close you come to those budgets, and then analyzing what are the factors that you didn't reach that target.
Studying real data.
Exactly.
Studying real
and
data.
that will give you an understanding of your business.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.